You guys, do I have time for one more of these guys? Huh? I think I do. I've been done for a while, and I was just cleaning up all my notes for it. And I looked at it and said, "Damn, it's after 12." Time flies when you're having fun. It really do. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can't bang this out. We're on chapter 29. 9 is going. That 29 is going to represent an 11. If you can see that in the back there in the corner. Excuse me. We get a whole new story out of this. Number 11 is representing the two God's creation. This is about where you and I come in. And in the sense of the number 2, we're looking at the left side, which would be the land or the lower mind. And it's always pitted against the other side, which is the ocean or the sea or the water. In this situation is the right side of our brain. Okay, this is where we go to meet God. All right, we go to the wells, and in these stories, there's a bunch of wells being dug about. All right, and that's important. Now, when Abraham died, those Philistines made them all stop doing that. Okay, and that's a shame. But anyhow, what we get out of this here, we get a whole new set of worlds, and this time I filled them in. Because it's we're going to read them. I'm still going to read them, but for my own sake, I went through this way just to get a good grip of what's being said. Again, this is going to be about the right side and the left side. This is the inside, so we're going to call this the right side of our brain. Okay, even though that's really the east over there, right? But it's most beautiful. All right, so let's run through this really fast. Okay. This is Genesis 29, King James Bible, of course, 29. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of his people, of the people of the east. This is where his father sent him to go this direction, to go east. I don't know why I'm going this way. East is to go towards the rising sun. That's the direction he's supposed to go to. And look and beheld a well in a field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. And out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. This is where the well is, number 2, right here. All right. And and thither were all the flocks gathered. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, watered the sheep, and put the stone back again upon the well's mouth in its place. And 4, and Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran we are. Haran means we are mountaineers. All right. And so 5. That's because they're in the mountains, right? And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, Of course we know him. All right, so Laban means white, and it really has to do with, being at the top of a mountain, this idea of making bricks and stuff like that. This is Laban. It's mostly just white. That's all it means is white, all right? And Nahor is about snorting and breathing hard. So I can just think that one of those is the right side of the brain, and the other is representing perhaps some kind of an animal. All right, Nahor. All right, so let's go on to the next group, which is going to be 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we get, and he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. That's 5 right here. And lo, this is on 6 in this midst here. We have, and lo. Is it that time of day? Neither is it that time for cattle should be gathered together, watering the sheep. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see what I've got going on. I'm missing it. 6 is over here. 6 is, and he said unto them, He is well. Is he well? God damn it. It's getting late, but let's see if we can get this through. And they said, he is well. And behold, Rachel, his daughter, cometh with the sheep. This is 6. This is where the girl comes. She's coming down. She's going to water the sheep and take care of things. So 6 and 7, we come over here. This is where she waters the sheep on 7. And lo, neither is it time for the sheep should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep and go and feed them. And 8 on the very end, it says, we cannot until the flocks be gathered together and till they roll the stone from the well's mouth when we water the sheep. Then we water the sheep. Okay, so this is 8 to end here. It's not time yet. We have to wait until our time. When it's time to come and water, then that when we roll that stone off from this, then we can go into this. This is a good metaphor. This is, because with Jesus, there's this stone that you have to do. It's always the stone. We can't do anything until we get to this particular place. All right, until we can. She can't. They won't come down and water until we get to this point. All right. And you got to remember now that in early past stories, this is when Lot is being told, "You got to come here. I can't do nothing until you come thither, come thither. We can't do anything until you come thither." All right. So it's just really cool. All right. Just wanted to bring up that as something to remind you. Number 9. Let's start over again. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. It came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, and his mother's brothers, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brothers, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brothers. Jebus, that's 10. So this is again where the well is, and Jacob rolled the stone for it. And then it looks like over here in 11, Jacob kisses Rachel. And over here in 12, Rachel runs to tell her father, "Oh my God, oh my God." So it's a 12. That's pretty cool. So that's a intervention, all right? She's running off to tell her daddy, right? Her daddy's going to show up. Laban greets Jacob here. And this 14, it says, "And you're my flesh and my bone, and my bones and my flesh." Certainly we've heard this before. This is the idea, that he's actually representing this person that can come and go, just like Eve is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. She is part of my go meet. This is the flight. She is part of this business here. All right. So let's see. I think I skipped a few. It says here. Let's go to 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. Let's go to 14. It says here, "And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone of my flesh." All right, we did that one. And he's going to stay there for about the space of a month. That's 30 days. All right, so that's 3. So he's going to stay there for 30 days. He's got to do some work before he's allowed to come out, before he can do all this, And here he is. He's working for this guy because, he winds up saying, "Well, shouldn't you work for me first since you're my brother? Like, you have to labor for me first." And he says, "Oh, okay, sure, whatever." So, where are we at? 16. "And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel." Okay, so here's your 2 different sides. This is God's creation. Now we're represented in female form. whereas Leah is going to be the left side, and that Rachel is going to be the right side. Rachel is the one that he loves the most. This is who he wants. This is who he's working for. All right. So Leah is the tender-eyed one, but Rachel was beautiful and well favored, and she represents 8, or number 17. Number 17 is right here. So this is where we get the kind of Leah is this and Rachel is that. And we come to 18. And we come to 18, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, for thy younger daughter. And Laban said, it's better that I give her to thee than to give her to any other man. Abide with me. So he's going to agree with this. So this is number 19. Abide with me. And on 20, we get Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. So he served his 7 years. His 7 years came about. Jacob served his 7 years. And it seemed only just a few days. It says he loved her so much. And Jacob said to Laban after this over, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go unto her, or I go in unto her. This is number 21. 21 would normally be, this would be a 3 where you're getting, so he says, give me my wife. I did my time. I want to give my wife. That's the whole idea of this whole idea is when we finish our works, do we ever get to meet mother? All right, so here he says, I finished all my work. I want my wife. Give me my wife. All right, so what happens is, we have to have a betrayal, right? Before all this happens, you know how every one of these has some kind of a switcheroo of some kind. So we get here is, give me my wife. So here, the bond made a feast. This is usually when this is an outside thing. It made a feast, all right? This is usually when you would get fed, but he called all the men together, all the men, all right? So it's an outside thing. And had a great big feast for his wedding. And what happened is, it's in the nighttime. Oh, here, number 27, let me keep up with the story. And Laban said it, I know what happens. Here we go, 25. And it came to pass in the morning. 25. And it came to pass in the morning, he discovered the switch. He says, what did you do? You know that I was working for Rachel. Why did thou beguiled me? All right, so 25. It's right here. A switcheroo. How come you did this to me? And it says here on number 26, it says, well, Laban said, it can't be done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week. This one here. Is that what it is? The bond made, 22, 23. No. 27. 27. Here we go. That's what it was. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service, which thou shalt serve me yet 7 other years. This is number 27. So he serves another 7 years. He fulfills the job. And at the end of that time, number 32, which equals 5. Over here at the end, 32. And Leah conceives and bears a son, and she calls the name Reuben. Oh, wait a minute. How did we get to there? I think this is Ender. We're at 28 here. That's where we're supposed to be. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. So over here on 9, he gets fulfilled, gets to bring everything into life, and he's brought his wife home. All right? That's 28. 29, we're on our last set of worlds, 29. And Laban gave Rachel his daughter Bilhah to be his handmaid for her maid. All right? So Bilhah means bashful, foolish, and timid. Earlier we had Zilpah. which is going to be the maid for Leah. Her name means to drip or to drop or to sprinkle or to pour, which is kind of nice. This is the baptism. Now you can just see them working this way. So where are we at here? We're at what, 28, 29, 30. We're at 30, I think. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him 7 more years. So that's 3 times 7. That's going to be 21. So that's a 3. He's done his job. All right. 31 over here. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, and that's only because he favored the younger one than the old one. Well, he closed up Rachel's womb, makes her barren, and he opens up Leah's womb. All right. So what happens is Leah conceives on 32. 32 down here. Leah creates. These are the first worlds. All right. Leah bears Reuben. All right. That means behold a son. All right. Now, this is number 32, and it says here that Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. Behold, a son. And then she turns around and gives birth to Simon. Simon is 33. Is this outside one right here? Or Simeon, if you want to call it. This is one who hears. Or man of hearing, okay? And the way this works out is it says, and she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord hath heard I was hated. If he heard I said, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And Simeon because he heard that I was hated. And then she goes on to number 34. And she conceives again and bears a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore his name will be called Levi. So Levi, his name means joined in harmony, or joined, or adhesion. All right. And then we get Judah. Number 35, and she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore, she called his name Judah, and left bearing. All right. Judah's name means praised. Let him be praised. So this is what they're saying in the statement here, number 35, is that now I will praise the Lord because I give birth to Judah. All right, so those were the last 4 of these worlds. So the last 4, this would be Reuben, behold a son. That would be here, behold, a son. That makes it just about anybody can be this person. Hearing, this is Simeon. This idea of Simeon is hearing. You have to have your ear open and your eye, because these things, this is being watched when you're watching the tower. This is the watchtower. This is all those interesting things that go on there. So it's where you hear stuff. All right. And Levi is our body. Levi is going to represent this part here, and then it's also going to be joined in harmony, which is the idea of the left and the right side coming together beautifully. And we get the idea, because Judah would be the 4th one, meaning to praise, to be praised. It's just a beautiful thing. Those are also the first 4 of the tribes of Israel. So we're going to keep track of them. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to hit the hay. I think I've had enough God for the day. I think you guys probably have too. Not that that it's close to the end. This is right in the middle of all these stories. But we find now, out of all of this, that he's doing what his father is saying. And I still don't know, even with all this work and everything he's doing, I would still say that I think they're all still on the sixth chakra. For a good number of times and a good reason, most of these stories is they're riding right up on the sixth. But they're all connected to God. They're all talking to him, and they're all being ushered on to continue this story. But here we just heard, he worked 3 times. He worked to the number to 21. 21 is a 3. He's worked for this guy all this time up there. So you'll find that all that work that you have to do before he finally got his wife. So when you get that wife, you're pretty much connected, But when we find out that his wife is barren, and he's occupied, he's playing around with, the second ones, and the ones that are going to be representing the left side of the brain. And those are the maids, the handmaids. All these guys are going to be making these 12 children, the 12 tribes. All of them, both sides are going to be adding to the story. Just wild. But that's all because that Rachel is she's kind of stocked up. She's gonna have her baby soon. But right now, everybody else is just having a ball. All right, or a nut or something. Forgive me. Better not be catching something. Yeah, it's winter down here in the Keys. It came down to 71 degrees last couple of days. Beautiful. Shorts and t-shirt weather. It's beautiful. I love you guys. Good night. I'll check you soon. I'll be working here and there. You may not see from me, or I may just take out some more time, fart around with you some more. All right? Trying to get to the end of these chapters. All right. I love you. See you later.